Hello and welcome to Author Teach. In this free training video, you will discover how to write a book description. So, you've written a book and given birth to what you now affectionately refer to as your baby. You poured your heart and soul into your computer for hours on end, creating words of magic that fill the pages for readers to immerse themselves in your story or content. You have talked to yourself until you are blue in the face, or paced around your room creating and recreating scenarios, worlds, characters, plot twists, and never-ending possibilities. You have literally experienced every emotion to include crying your heart out, falling in love all over again, felt scared, happy, and the plethora of feelings that could take over and consume you during the writing process. As if writing a book wasn't overwhelming enough, once you get ready to publish your book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Smashwords, or wherever you publish it, writing a book description can drive you absolutely nuts. You have to get the book description absolutely right. A book description is your quick elevator or sales pitch that will literally draw a potential reader in or turn them away. Your book description has to be short enough to draw interest, but not so long that you almost tell the entire story. There has to be a balance of key plot points, characters, and statements that build curiosity, interest, or a number of emotions that make someone want to read more. It's almost as if your description is drawing the reader in and leaving a cliffhanger so that they are enticed to read more. In this presentation, I will cover some techniques that will help you write a better book description that will command attention and entice a reader to want to read more. So let's get started. The opening tagline. This is the most important line in your book description. Get this wrong and you will lose a potential reader. The opening tagline must be an enticing, intriguing, thought-provoking, captivating, fun, snarky, mysterious, and most importantly, attention-grabbing. It should also be in bold letters and in larger text so that it stands out from the rest of the book description. And remember, it should only be just one line. It can be a quote, a statement, a catchphrase, question, or something that really grabs a reader's attention. If you look to the right of this slide, you will see my example. Right here, I have the opening tagline that reads, "My book baby will change your life." Now, moving along, you should introduce your main characters. Who are your main characters? Well, you do not have to list every character in your book and describe them in full detail, but it helps to have at a minimum your main characters. You have to clearly identify who is a main character and who are your supporting characters. Although each character may have an important role in your story, you don't have to list every single one. Some things to keep in mind when introducing your main characters are: who is your main protagonist or hero? Who is the best supporting character? What are their names? Do they have a significant backstory worth mentioning in a brief sentence? You don't have to be too overly descriptive, but briefly highlight a want, desire, goal, conflict, or an issue they have without giving too much away. If you look to the right here, you will see my introduction of main characters, and it reads, "Max, my book baby is a lot like you. He just wants to pay attention to him and be understood. He likes to be held and loves it when you run your fingers through his hair." Now, the next thing is, what is the main idea, plot, or the premise? You don't have to give away every detail, but you have to give enough to make the reader want to read more. Some tips on how to write the main idea, plot, or premise are as follows. Set the stage without giving everything away. Avoid spoilers. While writing your description, it can be tempting to reveal everything. Don't do it. Let the reader discover for themselves how things unfold. For fiction books, you may want to briefly describe a world, its people, an overall theme or message you want to portray, a situation, a conflict, a goal, what time period, and what is the location. For nonfiction books, you may want to hit key concepts or things the reader will learn or discover if they read your book. Keywords are essential here for nonfiction books, but don't oversaturate your description or title with keywords. One thing you would need to do is lead with a question or end with a question. For example, how far will he or she go to? Will he or she ever find love under a particular situation or circumstance? What is there to lose, and are your characters the answer? What is preventing something from happening? You want to end with a cliffhanger or unanswered question that must be satisfied only by reading your book. Another key point is this a standalone book or a book in a series? If you look to the right here, you will see that I have my main plot, or my main idea, plot, or premise. Here it reads, will Max find his way into your heart? In a world where so many babies are cute, Max struggles to gain the attention he very much craves and deserves. Only you can help Max, but do you have what it takes to get the job done? I've also included a value-added statement here. My Book Baby is the first book in a series you will come crawling back to. Okay, here are some key points that are worth mentioning. Up to this point, I have given you the essentials of what should be included in a book description. Here's a few that I think that you will also find additional value in. One thing you can do is add reviews to increase the value of your book. By getting a solid review from a notable or respected author, this may not always happen, but you can replace relevant reviews that highlight the benefits of your book. I wouldn't recommend adding entire reviews, but a good practice would be to highlight the essential point of the review and who the review was made by. It is this recommendation that adds validity to the quality, writing, character or world development, story, quotes, or way in which reading your book helped them to solve a problem, especially if your book is nonfiction. The next thing is, the book description is not for you. Remember, it's for them. If you have written a nonfiction book, consider using the word you. After all, the information in your book was written for them to help solve a problem or answer questions. Put in the time and effort to get it right. A poorly written description will turn any potential reader away faster than a bad book cover will. Another thing that you can do that is really good is analyze and emulate other great authors without plagiarizing them. Remember to keep your book description between 100 and 200 words and use line breaks. It all does not have to be in one paragraph. This definitely looks unprofessional. It's okay to mention your bestseller status. You can include that you are a #1 bestseller, international bestseller, or any other titles you or your book has won. Update your book description accordingly, especially if you've made significant changes to it. Use genre keywords, but don't overdo it. Proper use of adjectives to describe a character or a world. And avoid repeating words or misspelling words. Remember, bad grammar in your book description will most likely mean bad grammar throughout your book, and it will turn readers away. All right, now here are some top things not to do. Do not write more than 200 words. Do not be overly descriptive. Do not give away any key plots or points. Although this is not in the description, avoid using really super long overabundance of keywords, series description, book number, and so forth titles. Basically, you should simply put the title and an even simpler subtitle. This will do. Only if the subtitle is called for, adds value to the title, or embellishes upon a point, you should put a subtitle. If not, just put a title. All right, do not use overused words or lead-ins such as, there I was, it was Friday and, or in a time or place, and so forth. That definitely sounds cheesy and it's overused. All right, do not write the entire book description in one sentence or paragraph. You have to break them up. Make multiple sentences, but stay within that 100 to 200 words. The key here is to be consistent in the styling of your description. Don't be confusing or eclectic for the sake of thinking it will attract readers. If anything, it will detract away from your book and the reader will most likely put it down. Do not put anything about yourself in the book description. There's another section for that information, and it's not your book description. Avoid over-comparing yourself to other authors. Remember, that is your perspective. Although can be considered keywords, readers will discern for themselves if you are comparable to another author. That is not your comparison to make, it is theirs. Avoid making promises that the book does not deliver in an effort to make more sales. This is dishonest and will not lead to any future sales. All right, I've literally looked at thousands of book descriptions over the years, and I've seen a wide variety of descriptions that were outstanding and some that were written horribly wrong. Remember, practice makes perfect. The only way to get better at writing is to write, and having a well-written book description should be taken seriously. Remember, your book description is, in addition to your book cover, the next best thing that a reader sees. All right, if you got your book cover right and you got your description right, that can attract a reader and make them want to commit to purchasing your book. All right, I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this free training and want to discover more, then join AuthorTeach, the premier author platform training authors just like you on a wide variety of skills, taking you to the next level. Read below to learn more, choose an option, and I'll see you inside the member zone.